Hi, I'm RJ Baxter with Fairway Independent Mortgage with your market update. Are we in a housing bubble? There's a lot of people asking this question right now, especially in markets like Denver, where home prices have gone up significantly since the Great Recession. And people are wondering, are things just overpriced? Is it getting out of control, and is housing going to crash? And the short answer, in my humble opinion, is no, we are not in a bubble. And I'm going to tell you some statistics compared to 2006, 2007 that tell me that we are not in a bubble right now. The first one, and this is really interesting, is that if you look back on data comparing median home sale price to buying power over the past 20 years, so how much home can people afford based on median incomes, interest rates, home prices? So if you compare buying power to median home price, the only time over the past 20 years that the median home price has exceeded buying power is between 2005 and 2007, right before the crash, right before the Great Recession. So, and this just shows that people were buying homes that they couldn't afford. And a lot of this goes into my next point, is back then we had a lot of risky loans. We had 100% financing. Anyone could get a loan. You didn't have to prove income or anything. You didn't even have to have good credit. And lending standards are a lot different right now. Lenders are a lot more stringent. For most loan products, buyers have to have skin in the game. So it's a different lending environment now than it was back then. And that's part of what led to the crash back in 2007, 2008. The next thing that's a lot different than back then is inventory is at all-time lows right now. In some markets, it's less than half what the inventory was back in 2006, right before the housing crash. So we have a lot less housing out there, and there's a lot of demand for housing as household formations have increased over the past several years, as more and more millennials are having children and wanting to get larger homes and going from renting to buying, forming households. So there's a lot more demand, and especially in markets like Denver, where there's a lot of people moving in, there's just not enough housing. So this is just simple economics. It's a supply and demand thing, just not enough inventory to meet the demand, which drives prices up. And then the last thing that's very important that partially led to the housing crash in 2008 is that equity currently is at all-time highs. People have more equity in their homes than any time in the last 40 years. So what this means is that families are going to be more able to weather the storm if there were to be a decline in home prices. And also, families are able to tap into that equity if they need to use that equity to consolidate debts or to get into a better financial position. Especially with rates so low, that kind of a strategy makes sense to a lot of people versus struggling on their bills or getting behind on their bills. So these are the main factors that I'm seeing that are telling me this is not the same thing as 2006, 2007 before the Great Recession. We are not in a housing bubble, and housing is likely to continue to increase. A lot of the forecasters that I follow and that you'll see out there are also saying the same thing, that they expect home values to continue to increase, and that affordability is at all-time highs despite the increase in home prices. So a couple important factors to keep in mind as you're thinking about whether you're looking to buy a home, to buy a second home, to upgrade to another home, or to go from being a renter to a buyer. And if you have any questions about that kind of thing, I'm happy to answer those for you. That's definitely why I'm here, and we can talk about your specific situation. So just give me a call, text me, or email me. And once again, my name is RJ Baxter, Fairway Independent Mortgage. Have a great day.